Good morning, it is Seth with the Jailbreak. We are set up in our shop this morning. We are going to try to demonstrate different rope configurations on the Jailbreak for the different diameters of rope and how you would set those up differently. Different configurations for the same weight and configurations for different weights. All right, so the setup and the rope that we're using right now is a 1/2 inch rope, and we needed a little bit more friction. We have a 175-pound log set up on the overhead crane. And right now the Jailbreak is soft locked. So I will undo that real quick. Notice we didn't lose anything into the system. I'm going to show you. All right, now for this setup here, we're using the same 1/2 inch diameter rope and the same 175-pound log. And we're just gonna incrementally increase the wraps to show what happens. Right now, we've actually added a 1/2 of a wrap by coming in the front side of the device with the rope. So instead of the rope coming back here and then starting your wraps, we came into the front and added just a little 1/2 wrap total. It's in soft lock. Take that off. Let her rip. Okay, so a little bit more friction on that one. That one's going to be still fast, still quick, still smooth. But obviously, the more friction we put on the device, the sooner, the less energy it takes to stop it. Obviously, each rope, same 175-pound load. We are using 3 rungs, which is the equivalent of 2 wraps. A lot slower. I think we're actually kind of over wrapped here. Just my thumb. All right, so same rope, same 175-pound load, but this time we're utilizing 1, 2, 3, 4 rungs. We've come off the front, so we've added another 1/2 of a rung worth of wrap. Yep. So I'm holding on to this with 2 fingers, thumb and index finger. Look. So people always ask about over wrapping the device. What happens if I'm over wrapped? We only have a 175-pound log, and we are utilizing almost all of these rungs. All right, so right now we have 1/2 inch rope, the same 175-pound load, and we are using every single rung on the device at this point. At this setup is the King Kong of setups. You're not going to get any more than this. And don't forget, we have people, we can move 3,000-pound loads with this setup. So if you look, even a 175-pound load will feed through the device. So there's no need to have to try to take a wrap off. Overloading doesn't really happen. So right now we're gonna show you 2 different setups for the same weight and the same diameter rope. And then we're gonna explain to you why. Okay, so right now we did 1 rung and then right out the bottom. All right, so this is a different setup for the same weight, same diameter rope. So the 2 different setups that we just did for the 175-pound log. So in this setup here, if you notice, the rope, the bends in your rope are spread out. So instead of this tight bend around 1 rung, we actually put a gap and we spread that tight bend. We spread that out through the rungs. So what you get is this setup here for a 175-pound log is going to be a whole lot smoother and faster when you need to let something ride. When you need to let the rope ride, those tight bends are going to make the rope feel, well, sticky. So a setup like this is for when you do want to let it ride. This setup is when you're going to need a little bit tighter bite on the rope. It's going to be a lot faster. It's going to be a lot hard way to describe it. It's going to be sticky. It's going to the device is going to feel sticky, where a little bit of pressure is going to stop the rope every time. Whereas this setup, you got a little bit more tolerance with the pressure you exert on the rope. This is going to let that your load free fall faster and smoother than the other setup. But you have the same amount of surface contact with the rope and the device. Same amount of friction. So right now there's this versus this setup. All right, so now we have switched ropes. We are now using an 11 mil rope with the same 175-pound load. We are using all the rungs. Now, so what we're demonstrating is the different diameter ropes have different results. So this is a lot faster than the 1/2 inch would feed through. So, okay, so for this one, we are using the 11.7. We still have the 175-pound load, and we are going to use just one rung. Now, the smaller diameter ropes are going to require a little bit more friction. They're going to run a little bit faster. So let me show you. We're going to let this one ride. So you can see that it's taking a little bit more pressure to stop that than a 1/2 inch rope or bigger. But it's definitely faster. All right, we have increased our load up to 400 pounds. We are using a 1/2 inch rope, and right now I came in through the front, and we're utilizing 2 rungs. It is in soft lock. I will take that out. And here we go. So, still fast, one-handed, 400 pounds. And actually, in the field, I probably would have used, I'm gonna come in through the back side. That setup there probably would have been a little bit better for that 400-pound load. All right, this time we're using a 3/4 inch rope with the same setup that we just used with the 1/2 inch rope. We still have a 400-pound load. And the rope diameter definitely makes a huge difference on how that setup will behave.